This girl fights only with her legs, and at first glance it feels almost unreal. Not metaphorically, not stylistically, but literally. Like something pulled straight out of a fighting game, she moves with the precision and confidence of Chun-Li from Street Fighter, turning the ring into her personal arena. Her name is Mona Kimura, and despite her young age, she has already carved out a reputation that feels larger than life. Undefeated, smiling, and deceptively calm, she steps into brutal combat with an approach that defies logic and tradition. The question everyone asks is simple but loaded with disbelief. How does someone survive, dominate, and win fights while relying almost entirely on their legs? And even more unsettling, why does she choose to fight this way at all? To understand that, you have to go back to the beginning. Mona Kimura was born on April 12, 2001 in Mizuho, Gifu, Japan. Her early life gave no obvious signs that she would one day become a combat sports phenomenon. Like many children, she was introduced to sports at a young age, but her path didn't start with flashy kicks or acrobatic techniques. It began with boxing. From the 4th grade all the way through her entrance into university, boxing was her world. Day after day, she refined fundamentals that most people overlook: balance, timing, distance control, footwork, and composure under pressure. These years weren't glamorous, but they built something far more important than highlight reels. They built a fighter's mind. Her dedication paid off. At just 18 years old, Mona became a champion of Japan in boxing, a remarkable achievement that placed her among the country's elite. She wasn't just talented, she was disciplined, consistent, and fearless. Even in 2022, she represented Japan at the Women's World Championship, proving that her boxing skills could stand on an international stage. For many athletes, this would have been the end goal, the peak of a career. But for Mona, it was only preparation. Because despite her success, she made a decision that surprised many. She walked away from boxing and chose kickboxing instead, signing a contract with the Crush promotion, a move into a sport widely considered more brutal, more chaotic, and far less forgiving. What followed was the birth of something entirely new. Mona Kimura didn't just transition into kickboxing. She reinvented how she fought. Comparisons to Chun-Li weren't accidental or exaggerated. Her style is visually striking, almost theatrical, but beneath that elegance lies ruthless efficiency. She uses her legs the way most fighters use their hands. They jab, probe, intimidate, and control space. Her kicks aren't just attacks. They are conversations, warnings, and commands. Opponents are kept at bay, psychologically and physically, unable to find rhythm or safety. This unique approach traces back to childhood. Long before fight camps and contracts, her parents made her stand on one leg for extended periods, an exercise meant to build balance and discipline. At the time it seemed trivial. In hindsight it feels prophetic. That balance became the foundation of her entire style. She hops effortlessly, resets instantly, and never looks compromised, even when standing on a single leg mid-exchange. Her legs became extensions of her arms, and her body learned to trust them completely. In her early kickboxing fights, this leg-focused strategy led some to believe she was predictable. The assumption was that once opponents figured out her reliance on kicks, she would be exposed. That illusion shattered quickly. Mona adapts with frightening ease. She reads opponents in real time, adjusts without panic, and evolves mid-fight. Her debut on November 16, 2024 against Japanese fighter Ai Oiwara was the first clear warning sign that this was not a gimmick. She opened with jabs, not kicks, immediately challenging expectations. When she finally loaded a kick and was briefly taken down after her leg was caught, she didn't panic or retreat. She bounced back up, calm and smiling as if nothing had happened. When Oiwara rushed in, Mona answered with precision boxing, clean hooks, and devastating timing. One right hook later, the fight was over in spectacular fashion, leaving no doubt that she was far more than a leg-only curiosity. Her second fight on January 26, 2025 against Yuka showed the full evolution of her style. This was where the Chun-Li comparisons truly came alive. Mona unleashed relentless kicks to the body and head, using her legs like spears that denied space and crushed morale. Every attempt by Yuka to close distance was met with sharp punishment. And whenever pressure did break through, Mona calmly switched to boxing mode, reminding everyone of her roots. The psychological toll was obvious. Each kick felt humiliating, dismissive, as if Mona was effortlessly reminding her opponent who controlled the ring. By the final round, the fight had turned into total domination, ending in a unanimous decision that felt inevitable long before the final bell. The third fight on June 27, 2025 against Satoko Ozawa was the most brutal and definitive statement yet. From the opening moments, Mona took control, mixing high kicks with precise jabs and hooks. Ozawa looked lost, trapped in an uncomfortable position where every movement was punished. Blood began to flow and the damage accumulated rapidly. Mona increased her power, her strikes landing clean and mercilessly. A combination of double jabs and a crushing high kick dropped Ozawa to the canvas. But even that wasn't the end. The beating continued until the referee finally intervened, stopping the fight out of mercy. It was a harsh reminder that behind Mona's cheerful demeanor lies a fighter capable of inflicting devastating damage when necessary. What makes Mona Kimura so fascinating is the contrast. Outside the ring, she appears kind-hearted, positive, and almost gentle. Scroll through her social media, and you'd never guess she could dismantle opponents with such efficiency. Inside the ring, however, she becomes something else entirely. Calculated, dominant, and unforgiving. Her undefeated record isn't built on luck or novelty. It's built on years of discipline, adaptability, and a deep understanding of combat at every range. As things stand, it's clear that Mona Kimura's future is incredibly bright, assuming she continues to fight. And all signs suggest she will. She isn't just winning fights. She's redefining expectations and forcing opponents to confront a style they aren't prepared for. Whether she continues to rely heavily on her legs or further expands her already dangerous arsenal, one thing is certain: she is only getting started. Now it's your turn. What do you think about Mona Kimura's leg-focused fighting style? Is she the future of kickboxing, or will someone eventually crack the code? Let me know your thoughts. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into one of the most unique fighters in the game today, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next story.